So today I thought I would share with you a tour of my 2023 Thor Scope van. Hey everyone. So I've had the van for about 2.5 years. I was going to do a tour of it when I first got it, but I thought, why do a tour of it? Because basically it's like you going to a RV show and seeing the van. So I thought I'd wait a while, have my own touches, my own personality, my own decorations and stuff, do some things to it. Then of course I was having way too much fun. So 2.5 years later, I thought, you know what? I enjoy watching all these videos that people do of their van tours. So I thought, well, I should do one. So I'm going to do one. And I'm going to share with you some things I changed about it. I will say some of the workmanship was spotty. Though you had to remember it's an RV and they had to cram all this stuff in not a square box, but a box with angled, rounded edges. So 90% of it was done great. 10% I could deal with, had to do it myself, had to basically fix some things myself, redo some things myself. But I didn't mind doing it, and I love this van. I love that I purchased it. I love everything about it, and I have no complaints at all. Whatever wasn't done right, forget about the warranty stuff. Just fix it yourself. You take it to the dealership, it takes them over a month to get it back to you, and I could just do most of it myself. So I'll try to share everything I can remember with you guys. But to start, let's show you from front to back. So this is the front area, which I would call my command center, where I do all the driving. And the chair, they're on swivels. This one usually is facing this way because, as I was speaking to you previously, that's where I was sitting. And it's nice to sit there, pull the table over to you and actually sit there and do computer work, eat, things like that. On the back of this, I'm going to share all the personal things that I have in here too. So everywhere I go, usually national parks, I buy these pins and I put them on these lances. And that's of all the different parks I've been to. So I kind of collect those. And then that way I kind of know where I went also. The front, nothing crazy. I know 2022 Thor's didn't have that big screen when you're driving. I love that. I've seen the 2022s and I'm not a fan of the small screens. I love the big screen. It helps when I'm trying to find things at night when I'm traveling on the roads. In my windows, I do have these blockouts, which are not the cheapest things, but they're awesome. They're insulated, they block out stuff, and I will put down in the information below where I purchased these from. I got one for that window, for the front window, for that window, and then one for the side, which you can't see. It's behind the one that came with the van. As far as the lounging area, this is a lounging area. So what I've done here is something a little crazy. When the seat's pushed all the way in, I wasn't crazy about it sitting there. I want to be more comfortable. So what I did was I pulled this seat out a bit. That way, it's more like a lounging area. And I sleep this way too. I never push in, never pulled out. It's just me. So I sleep this way in the van. Very comfortable. This all comes out. Then I can sit there comfortably, do my work, eat, relax, read, whatever I do. But this would become my lounging area. So I basically don't sit here. This is just for decoration. But if I want to, all these back cushions are movable. I can take them out, rearrange them, do whatever. I found that putting this gray thing over all the cushions, just a little more comfortable. I did have to take all these wood panels that you see down here. I took everything apart, the whole base of the couch apart, because I found that when it was done, they used wood screws, and pretty much all those screws were stripped. Whether they were stripped because over 2.5 years they wheeled out, I'm not sure. But so I went through all of them, put glue in them, put the screws back in, so everything's nice and sturdy. For this here, because when I traveled or got in and out, it would keep moving at the base. So all I did was drill 2 holes in here, drop 2 bolts down there, and now this thing doesn't move at all. But if I ever want to move it, just lift the cushion up, pull the 2 bolts out. I didn't even put the nut in them, and I can push it back in or out. If you ever, in this video, if you want to know more or see a detailed description of what I did or how I did it, let me know and I will make a video on that. Just put it down in the comments, and then I will make a video in the future of that. I also noticed that down on the bases of the van, of all the cabinets, they didn't seal it. It was just raw to the floor. So I basically went on the whole areas and I sealed all the areas, because these cabinets, you know, if water gets on them, they like to blow up. They like to get really, you know, spongy like. So that's why I went and did that. So if water's ever spilled, it won't go under them and do any damage. So with that said, all your cupboards up here, I love the cupboards. They're just basically normal everyday stuff that I put in there. This is basically usually for my food, and then my pots and pans and stuff. Pictures I have put up. Of course, I read Stephen King, and he doesn't sponsor this video. This is the kitchen area. So in the kitchen area, we have the panel, which has all the information that controls everything in here. The lights, if you got, if the lights, there's a home, how much water you have, which everything's empty. The awning, which I have something to say about later. Your temperature in the van, the lights, how much power you have, how much propane you have, how much solar is being used. The van does have solar on it, and the vents in the front bathroom in the back, or right above me. On the awning, so it seems when we got the van, it beeped a lot. When I got the van, it beeped a lot. It kept beeping, and I contacted the dealership, had it taken in for warranty stuff, because some of the awnings were blowing off while people were driving. And I said, well, why you have the awning here? My problem is I have this beeping sound. No one could find the beeping sound. Some said it was this, it was that no one ever knew. Well, after 3 weeks of them having the van and I needed it back, I went and got it. Nothing was fixed, but they said that day I picked it up, they fixed everything. What they didn't. The beeping was away for a while, but it came back. So to stop the fact that it's going to go out while I'm driving or keep beeping, I just basically pull the fuse out. Now I don't have to worry about the beeping or it coming out while I'm driving. And if I ever need it, I put the fuse back in, put it out, and pull the fuse out so it doesn't beep, and we're good. That's why down below, that's basically showing there's a fuse missing, and that's what that was. Here's the big fridge, which is cold in here, but I know it's off. So here's the fridge. The fridge is totally fine with me. Here's a freezer. A lot of room in here. I've gone 3-week trips and I fill it up just perfect for me. Just a note for people, just something I found out myself. When you have a fridge and you got to close it like I had it closed and it's not on, and we're here in Arizona, so the summer months get very hot. If you don't want your fridge to smell funky or bad, guess what? Just put a candle in it. That's all. You don't have to light it or nothing. Just put a candle in there, close it, and every time I open that fridge, it smells perfect because it smells like the candle. Then we have my blessed decoration, my candle out here because again it smells good. This is I got from an artist in Sedona. It's supposed to be the cat from well, you know, the cat from that show, and my fun little pet. That's the only pet I have. I don't have any pets that I travel with. Right here we have extra space, which comes in very handy when you're cooking because you have this, and then because you can cover the the sink, you have space there. Then when you're cooking, of course, here is this is your stove. Now I had that washcloth there because when you're traveling, this rattles and it's very annoying. So I put the washcloth there, and I take these things, which are those door stoppers I got on Amazon. You stick them right here in those cracks, and with that and a towel, this thing doesn't rattle at all. So that's just another little trick that I did. Here's my other cabinet. Also has the plug for the microwave. Here's the microwave, which when I'm not using the microwave, I store my bowls in it. More pictures. This here's something I came up with. These are styrofoam, like pins for boards. You can stick the pins in the boards. I think it's gator foam material. So what I did was I got these little emblems, and it's of every state. So what I do is every state that I go into, I put up there. So I purchased all the emblems at once. And as I go to all the states, I actually have to actually go to the state and stay there. It's not states that I drive to, it's states that I stay in. And I put the states up there, meaning that's the place that I visited. Continuing, here we have some more cabinets. Basically, I just put everything in there. I try to stay pretty organized. You have to stay organized in a van because they can get messy real quick. You have your drawers down here. Mainly these are my food drawers. This is a cabinet where I just keep random stuff. Here's my junk drawer. Everyone's got a junk drawer. My silverware. And actually, for my silverware, this is something I purchased or I had in the house extra. This is stops the sound of things. If you put this on top the silverware, because I don't have a thing that holds it, it doesn't rattle. Here we have wiring. It's basically all my electronics, and last but not least, my bags and such. Then in the shower, which we'll go to next, we have the shower, which just has, there's a shower, comes out. Still have a towel hanging there. Here's your sink. Here's your medicine cabinet. And I usually keep most of the stuff that I use in here unless it's stuff that'll melt, because in the summertime it gets really hot in here. I also have the toilet. This is actually something I keep in the van right now because if it gets below 32, it'll signal me on my phone and I can turn the heat on so we don't have any type of freezing in here, even though there's no water in here. This is a toilet. It doesn't belong in the toilet. It's just there. And also another thing that I collect is magnets. So the magnets don't go on the fridge like I thought they would. So they go on this back door. And you can see I got all different kinds of magnets from different places that I've been. Basically, again, national parks, national monuments and such. Then again, these are the blockouts, and no light gets through these. These are awesome, and these actually have pockets in them, and these fit perfectly. So these I also got for the back. I have a light in here because when I'm not in the van, I have a light and a camera. So I turn on the camera and light, so if someone ever enters a van, the light will come on. It's a bright light that'll probably scare them at first, and the alarm of the van itself going off. Then I have a camera that'll film everything they're doing. It goes right to my phone. It alerts me, and I have a copy of who's in the van recorded. I use these things a lot. These are, I have two of them. One in the front up there, probably not the best place for it, and one in the back. These things are moisture absorbers. And they actually work because they're orange when it's dry or yellowish. and they turn dark when it's wet, and they've actually gone dark where I had to just plug them in, and they will then become dry again. So they are sucking up some of the moisture in here, but I also have a dehumidifier that I'll use after showers and just put down here. So the dehumidifier I'll put down there, and that way it will absorb whatever humidity is in here after my showers. Down here I have this for the reason I don't shower with this, but because this is probably not the most quality made, I don't want this to ever crack. So this will display weight everywhere when I'm standing on it. When I'm in the shower, I have that there that I use, and I stand on top of that. It's just easier than standing on the shower surface itself. Then in here, you have your cabinet, and something, after 2 years I got this. I saw it in someone else's video and I fell in love with it. It's right here, it hangs up, so some of the weight's taken off the bottom because you hang it up. And you have shelf there, you have drawers that you can pull out. It's the best thing I've ever had. I love it. This is where I keep my laundry towel. I use my Keurig because the other coffee things I've tried just don't work out. Then I have my drawer, something else in my drawers. These are from IKEA and they fit the drawer perfect. So when I'm not traveling and it's just sitting here at the house, everything's sealed up. Not airtight sealed, but if we get any critters in here, hopefully they won't go through here. They might eat through it, but for the most part, it keeps it sealed. So if I need to do anything, I can pull all this, I can pull the whole bag out, go in the house, do laundry, reorganize, and put the bag in here. So it's very convenient. Both drawers have them, and I love that. So that's pretty much the whole van. I also did change out all those lights. The lights in there that they have were kind of flimsy. These lights that I have, they can be the blue lights, so at night it's not as bright. And then they can be regular lights that if you hold the button up and down, it'll actually has a fade to it. Then I also have something I just put in that was very, very easy. Are, if I can get to go on. Oh, they're not plugged in. They're USB. So I plug them in right here. And because I'm kind of freaky about not seeing wires, I ran the wire to this down the back, down in the back there. I went down the back there, went down the wall, and came up inside so there's no wires showing. Because I didn't want any wires. And see, they're on right now. And they're lights that do all kinds of funky things. They're kind of cool at night when you're sitting here. You can have them flash, you can have them go up and down. I think pretty much everyone knows what these type of lights do. Everyone seems to have them. They're kind of a cool ambiance. Something I missed. So these armrests, they're not leather, but they're a plastic fabric, so they get hot and sweaty sometimes when you're driving or they're uncomfortable. So I just took long socks and put long socks on them. That's from Meow Wolf, which is a place we visited in Vegas. And this is just a sock that I had sitting around that was kind of cozy. I just put those on there. Plus, I think in time, always having things, your arms on the armrest will wear it down. And a lot of times this table will move over and sit on that armrest. So I thought I would just preserve the armrest a little bit longer. So let's talk about this beautiful table. It swivels, it goes out, goes everywhere you want to go, comes all the way over here if you want to sit down. When I travel, it always wants to move. So I either put a blanket here, or I also have a bungee cord that's strapped to the back of the seat that's holding it in right now. But the biggest thing is the arm. So, one thing Thor did was they attached the metal arm to a piece of wood with wood screws. So within the first couple months, that thing was loose because the wood screws, I mean, it's a heavy table. Move it around, move it all around, back and forth. The arm is all metal. So the wood screws wiggle themselves loose, and this thing, I mean, that arm was so loose. So what I ended up doing was, and again, if you want a video on this, and I can show you more in depth what I did, just comment below. I pulled everything apart, drilled holes through the wood, because you can take the couch wood bottom off and have access to the inside. Drilled holes through the wood, got bolts and nuts, and I think there was 6 of them. Bolted everything down so that it was nice and tight on the wood. And to be honest, I haven't had this thing get loose at all in my travels now. It's nice and solid. That's probably the best thing I did, and that was I think the first thing I did, because a wiggly table just drove me crazy. So that's one of the things that I did do to improve the quality of that. Took some work, but do it once. I put some washers in there so they don't loosen up, and it's been perfect ever since. And another rainstorm, and again, it did some leaking. Not a lot, very little this time, but I'm like, there's something going on here. So this time I took the whole inside out, everything out, and where the fan meets the van, it wasn't sealed that well. So what was happening is it rained really, really hard. I would travel sometimes where rain is pouring down sideways, what have you. It would fly inside the vent area, and then that's what was leaking into the vent, as far as I could tell. Resealed the whole inside where the fan actually touches the van, sealed just probably oversealed it, and that was about 8 months ago. Been through rain, driven through rain, sat all night through rainstorms, and I haven't had any leaks since. So knock on wood, if there's any wood right here. I think I'm good on the leaking. But yes, I had the famous leaking fan. I think lots of people have had that, and it's a real pain, especially if you don't catch it and you're out and it's raining and it's leaking in here, and it'll damage this wood immediately because the wood will just swell up. So it kind of sucks for those that had damage, because I've seen a lot of videos of that. I got lucky because actually I'm in a Facebook group, which I'll also put down in the down below. The Facebook group, I'll be honest with you, it's about Thor vans, and it's been the best group, because there's been things where they show me stuff that people have had happen, and I'm like, oh really? Well, I better see if I had that issue. And sure enough, something was wrong, or something was wired wrong, or something. So that has been a great help, because I've been able to go there and catch things before they actually happen. So I knew about the issue of the raining inside and out of your van before it happened. So I was always kind of watching out for it. And when I went places, I always kind of made sure there was enough stuff around to absorb any water if it leaked. So I love that group. Again, I'll put that down below. I don't think there's anything else. Again, I love this van. I don't think it's for 2 people. I travel by myself. I love small places. It's small, but I love small places. For 2 people to travel in this van, you'd have to really love them, because they would probably get on your nerves. And I'm not in here full time. I'm getting to the point where I want to be traveling half of the year. Right now I'm traveling about 3 months out of the year, so I don't do this full time. I have a home base, I have a house, and that's where it sits when I'm not traveling. The nice thing about the van is, why I got the van, it's parts of my driveway. Homeowners associations don't gripe about it, because it's basically just a van. When I go travel places, it fits in any parking lot. I can go to all those parks and not see those signs that RVs, trucks with RVs or such, or if you're this long, you can't go through here. There's been parks I've driven through where you can't drive through if you're beyond this length. I can park in parking garages in Vegas, because the van's 10 feet tall. The lower part of the parking garage is usually about 11 feet. So I can park there, and because I get free parking, I can well, I don't actually sleep in the van while it's parked in the garage. I mean, who would do that? That would be crazy. Some of the things the van has a heater, which I've used quite a bit. It works awesome. It works off propane and doesn't use that much electricity at all. It has an air conditioner, which I've also used not as often because with the air conditioner, you have to be plugged in or you have to run the generator. But that thing blows air so cold that when you have it on too long, you got to turn the heat on, which I've never done. But it's an awesome air conditioner. I've used it. It has a fridge. It has solar power. It charges. And because I live in Arizona, it's always charging while it sits in my driveway. And when I'm traveling, it's charging. This does charge while you're driving, though mine quit doing that a little bit ago, and I've been trying to fix that. Something to do with the solenoid. I've replaced it. There's a bad fuse somewhere. I still have to find it. But it does charge while you're driving, which is the ultimate, because when you get to some place after driving for 6 hours, it's nice that everything's almost fully charged. So it's definitely something I'm working on before I go on my next trip. It has the propane, as I said, has the microwave, has a toilet, the shower. Basically, I tell people the only thing the van doesn't have is a dishwasher and a washer machine. Other than that, it has everything. I honestly don't use the sink because everything I do is on paper plates and forks and stuff that I just wipe off. So the only water I use in the van, and I actually just recently turned the sink pipes off. The only water I use in the van is showering. So the only thing that goes in my gray tank is the shower water. The toilet's a cassette toilet, so you pull that out and dump that wherever. Never use a toilet. It's kind of for emergencies, so I don't really use it. As far as the water, when I put it in the van, I always use a filter when I put water in the van, even though I'm only showering. I never drink it. I just shower with it. So the other day I did notice that, hey, there's a filter in here. They gave me an extra filter. It's been 2.5 years. I might as well change the filter. So I open up everything that's behind the cabinets there, and come to find out there wasn't an extra filter. That was the filter. Again, workmanship. No one put it in the casing. So for 2.5 years, I've been doing everything without the filter, which again is fine because I've been using a filter attached to my hose. So after opening that up and seeing that this whole summer while it was sitting there, water does not drain from that casing. So I'm like, why do I have the casing here? I don't use the filter, obviously. So I am going, my next thing is going to take that casing off and just run the water right over it and not even go through the casing. That way I don't need a filter in here and there's no water sitting there all summer long while the water isn't going on in the van. When you travel, it's always wise to release some of the pressure in the lines, which can be done outside, and also make sure the water pumps off, because if you hit a bump or you're on a bumpy road and that water pumps on and something gets loose in here, you don't want it to flood this place. So always travel with the pump off, and like I said, release some of the pressure from the actual faucets. Some things, of course, I forgot. If you saw it when I was walking around, up here there's storage. It goes all the way back there. It's really deep. Most of it's taken up by the ladder because this van does come with a ladder. It doesn't have one outside. It has a bike rack, so the ladder you can put on the van to get up on top of it. Though I wouldn't recommend walking on the roof. It's up there, and you also have this area here. Not a whole lot of space, but I keep my axe and such there, and sunglasses and everything. So it has plenty of space for me. Again, the chair I sit on and the couch that I lounge on. So I did not do an outside tutorial of the van because every video I've ever watched on van life, RVs and such, I always skip the outside. Everyone has the same stuff outside. They have the electric plug-in, electrical, the propane, everyone's the same. I'm not going to go through it. If you really want to see it, just let me know. Put in the comments below. and I'll do a tour of the outside of the van when I'm at some beautiful place hanging out. Other than that, I'm gonna leave you with one more shot of my home when I'm away from home, which I enjoy it. The longest time I've been in this van has been over a month, every night sleeping in it, and I never get tired of it. One last shot of the van. This is when you walk in the side door. Then here you have the couch, lots and lots of cabinets, my decorations. Of course, everyone's got their own taste. My bandana that I got from Old Smoky Moonshine. That's a whole nother video. The bathroom. Microwave. This actually did not come with the van. It's a small, it's not a TV, it's a small tablet, but it's not really a it basically is a, if you plug anything into it, it just enlarges it. So you can use it, like I plug my phone into it and it becomes a bigger phone, so I can play games or do what, or watch movies or videos on YouTube or what have you, Netflix, and it goes on that and basically projects it in a bigger scenario. So that's what that is. The van did come with this mount here, just nothing was in here. We have a light up there too with glass to protect it from the heat when you're cooking. The kitchen, of course. There's a window right there. I have the blind shut. I don't want people to see where I live. Plugs. There's plugs. There's a bunch of plugs. And just so I see a lot of videos that people post up there. The plugs, there's only one plug that works. Maybe two. When you don't have the generator going or you're not plugged in. And the main one I use all the time is that one. These plugs, there's one here, one up there in the cabinet, and there's one over there on the side of the couch. They only work if you have the generator running or you're plugged into shore power. So I see a lot of videos on that people are like, why do the plugs don't work? Well, those are the ones that don't work because they have to have the shore power and such. This is actually for the inverter, and that there is for the heat, for the hot water in the shower, and the heat for the van at night. And of course, again, we're back to my seat. So yes, this is the van, which I've named Blinker. Blinker because my hobby is photography, and I just like the name, so it's Blinker with 3 R's. That's actually my social handle that I use and the name of the van. So for everyone out there, enjoy life while you can. Go out there, have fun, be safe. This has been the most amazing thing that I've gotten. I'm not retired yet, but I'm definitely enjoying traveling, and I've seen places I've never seen before, and just wow, just some incredible stuff. So everyone take care, and we'll see you in the next video.